All right, so here we have a new tannage. We're developing it with Horween. This is really an attempt to get a hybridized work and heritage leather. It's got a little ChromePak in it, kind of derived somewhat from that tannage, with maybe some more visual interest. So you see it's got a little bit of pull up there. It's going to be super tough, so that's kind of the priority on it. You can see it's nice and waxy, but decently matte as well. It picks up.
Yeah, it's very waxy.
It picks up.
Don't have to oil these.
No, so it's going to be it's supposed to be super low maintenance as well.
Yeah.
So this is the, what color is this?
This is the walnut.
This is the walnut. So I think it's really interesting. I'm curious to see how it turns out in boot form, but you can see it's got a nice rough out as well.
Yeah.
You normally don't spec Horween for rough out, so this is just basically struck through. Almost all of our other Horweens, maybe with the exception of the Predators, are T-core. Mm-hmm. So this is a little bit of a difference for us.
Yeah.
But super interesting. We'll do some testing with this and kind of see how it comes out.
And then, do you want to see the other walnut? So this is essentially the same leather, correct?
Same leather on the grain side, but it's a wax flesh. Wow. So there's also an element of kind of efficiency here, right? So if we can use both sides, I think with the wax flesh side being obviously a very interesting leather and something that we sell quite a bit of, we're trying to have it both ways here. So, you know, people can select it both ways.
Yeah, that's going to pull up to it still too.
That's really interesting leather.
Yeah. It's a little bit lighter than like our brown wax flesh.
Yep. It's a lot lighter.
Yeah,
it's going to look a lot lighter.
A really good pull up, yeah.
Yeah. So somewhere between the brown wax flesh and the ember. And interesting. I like this approach that we're taking.
Yeah.
Let's try the black.
You want to see the black?
Yeah.
All right. Do you have a knife?
Yes, I do. So, you know, you've got to have black, right? Probably not going to be quite as interesting.
Oh, jeez.
But it is also waxed. Now, this is interesting. So this will be probably a lot like a black rough out with a really heavily waxed finish. So you're just not going to have that nap. It doesn't quite have the pull up as you would expect on a black, as you would see on the brown.
So this is a smooth.
So it's going to be very different than the black wax flesh you currently offer through Horween, or with, also with Horween. But I think it adds a nice texture. It'll definitely it'll come up over time.
And we've got one more color. What is this one called? Golden Amber.
This is Golden Amber. It's obviously a lighter brown. This is the non-waxed version, I believe.
Yep, and then this is the wax flesh.
So it'll be interesting to see how this looks. Okay, interesting.
Oh, kind of 64 brown, that medium brown color.
Interesting.
It's really nice.
You can look at that. You're going to get a nice pull up with this.
Yeah, you can see a bit more of the character with this lighter brown color.
Interesting.
Yeah, it looks nice.
It looks
a nice
really
color.
nice. Yeah, it's a super waxy medium brown, similar to the 64 brown.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh. Okay.
And then we've got a waxed flesh version of it.
Okay. I'm actually very much looking forward to seeing this.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, here. Man, these guys fold this really well. It's almost like they're used to rolling up leather. Shout out to the Tannery Row boys. Okay. Yes. Quiet on set. Oh, cool. It's got a kind of distressed look to it, which isn't bad.
On the
This is
smooth side,
yeah. which isn't a bad thing. That's interesting.
Wow. What's the wax flesh side look
Awesome. Look at this.
like? Ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
Hello.
That's beautiful.
Yep. Look at that.
And another really nice, let me pull up to it. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's a very clean wax flesh
Yeah.
too.
Anyway, so again, so we're kind of hybridizing work and heritage here. The guys at Horween are great. So we kind of wanted to see, so this would be a new tannage. I'm not aware of anything really exactly like it out there. So that's exciting. And we'll see what this looks like when it's made, and see you on the other side of this video. See you in about 2 weeks. Hey there, I'm Shyler Mao from Nick's Boots. We've got Lucas Grassberger as well, product marketing manager. Thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We're here today to discuss a new tannage. We are calling it the Spokane tannage. We think it combines the best of work and heritage, and it's a great representation of Nick's Boots. Of course, we're located in Spokane. This is a ChromePak derived leather. You can feel it in the wax. It's hot stuffed. It's ChromePak was originally designed for gasket seals back in the day, like over 100 years ago.
It was like early 1900s, right?
Yeah, and it actually was superior to a lot of the synthetic materials that they were using, because the synthetics would basically just fail catastrophically, whereas this leather would essentially leak and slowly, so you could identify that and then fix it. So we started with ChromePak. So this is ChromePak. Those of you who are familiar with this leather, it almost feels like it's crayon-like a little bit. It's not bad. I mean, it's a very durable, kind of work-oriented leather, good water resistance, but it's got, you almost have to wash your hands after you handle it.
Bootmakers love working with ChromePak.
They get
it just grease everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like motor oil. But it's a good leather. I mean, it's durable, it's heat resistant because it was made for gaskets. So it's got some advantages, and I think we got rid of some of the excess wax.
Yeah, and it's a little more, I'd say it doesn't have as much pull-up as a lot of the leathers that you see. You can kind of see that. Yeah, you've got some lightening here in the heel, but not quite as dramatic to
like
maybe
this,
compare it to this guy.
I mean,
so as a comparison, you can see a more dramatic lightening and more dramatic pull-up effect there, which is what we were going for, obviously. So this started with the ChromePak, and then we retanned it. We didn't retan it, Horween retanned it. And with the vegetable retan to kind of give it that more visual interest as it ages over time. It's a hot stuffed leather. It's packed full of plenty of waxes and oils, so you will have nice water resistance with it. It's got a great hand feel. Doesn't it feel great?
It's really nice.
You compared it to Shackleton a little bit. The temper on this is lower, so it's stiffer than Shackleton. Shackleton's probably our highest temper, meaning most flexible leather. Whereas this has definitely got a little more structure to it, but probably not quite as much as you would see on like a Max Support Black or something like that. It's a really, I just love this leather.
Yeah.
So the other interesting thing about this leather, as you may have noticed, it's a little different in that it's not T-core.
Yeah.
It is struck through. And the reason we did this, one, is for some variety, right? Everything out there is T-core. It's super popular. It's been a big trend over the last 10 years. We thought maybe it's time for something different. And also, typically in the workspace, you don't really see, T-core leathers. They're mostly struck through. And one of the reasons for that is so that you can use both sides of it. So these guys, smooth side, waxed flesh side. So instead of a rough out, we're actually going to do a waxed flesh on the interior, on the flesh side. So gives us a little more flexibility in terms of how we can display the boots, what portions of the offering that we can use for these hides. And also you, as a customer, you can have smooth over waxed flesh bottoms, right? Like you typically see with our smooth over rough out work boots. So I think that it's a really interesting approach, right? I really like this. I mean,
it's beautiful.
It's really pretty.
I mean, you bring up a good point. We really like Chrome XLs and stuff, but it's all smooth leather. And one of the things we love about work leather is the rough out is so much easier to work with in terms of finding better cuts and things like that. And so this gives us the flexibility of work leather with still that appeal of the heritage leathers.
And wax flesh looks great.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
People love it.
Yeah.
It ages beautifully.
Yeah,
It's super tough. It's got obviously the great water resistance because of the waxing. And this would be spec'd not quite as thick as our work leathers. So again, this is kind of a combination approach, but it will be thicker than our heritage leathers. So you're thinking around 7 ounces is what you would see. Now, obviously there's some natural variation in leather, but you'll see a 7-ounce tannage on this. I think a relatively smooth, easy break-in. It's perfect for somebody who does go out in the field, has to work, you know, but then also maybe works in an office, wants to do some work, but also then go out to dinner. I mean, it just looks awesome.
Yeah.
This is our honey color right here.
it's got a really nice aniline finish to it still. So
Very
it's got the
aniline.
natural characteristics there. Yeah, it's awesome. I
You've
really
got
like this lighter brown.
Your honey, your brown, your black. I think you'll see some additional colorways in this tannage as well. But this took about a year to develop. I think it looks fantastic. Many thanks to Horween for developing this for us. And, you know, I think it's going to be, you know, hopefully it's very appealing to a lot of people because it tries to, you know, I think it does a really good job at a lot of different things. Lucas, do you have a favorite color here?
I think I got to go with the honey, the smooth.
I
It's
would
just
agree.
a beautiful light brown color.
Yep.
That wax flesh even is really nice.
Yeah.
I really want to see essentially two-tone smooth over waxed flesh.
Yep.
I think that'll be awesome, especially as this starts to rough up.
Yep.
And you start to get some of that nap from the wax flesh. I think that'll be really nice.
Yeah, I mean, really interesting, right? Because you get almost, what is this? Looks a lot like a natural finish, at least for Horween. And then of course this more traditional lighter brown here. Same with the regular brown. This is what we probably just call brown. And then you'll of course have a wax flesh on the black as well.
I love that we basically get 6 new leathers for 3.
Yep, exactly. I think a gray could be really cool too.
Yeah, it would be nice.
A charcoal. But yeah, I would expect to see some additional variations of this leather. But yeah, from ChromePak, 100 years old, to Spokane. It's been a long journey, but we've gotten here. I think this is, you know, Horween said this is essentially like a 100-year-old recipe updated with kind of modern technology. And so that vegetable retan, I think, adds a lot of interest, makes it super tough, super durable with its base layer. And then, of course, you kind of impart some of that heritage component to it that I think makes it appropriate for a lot of different uses.
Right. Yeah, you can use this for pretty much anything. I think it's a great do-all leather.
Yeah.
Heritage work, whatever you want to do.
Yeah. So great all-around leather. I think will appeal to a lot of people. Fits the vast majority of use cases. You know, obviously we'll still have the hardcore work leathers for firefighting and that sort of thing. But I think for a lot of people, this leather offers the best of a lot of worlds.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll be promoting this pretty heavily. We think it's we're very proud of this, and I think you're going to like it a lot if you get this on your feet. Anyway, thanks for listening. We'll see you in a bit.